Nigeria gained independence from their colonialists, the British government, on the 1st of October 1960. Before the attainment of independence, Nigerians had fought fiercely for it for over 4 decades. The struggle for the Nigerian independence began in the 1920s when the early nationalists stood up to resist British discrimination against Nigerians in the legislation. This group of nationalists, led by Herbert Macaulay, mounted pressure on the colonialists, which forced them to introduce Clifford Constitution of 1922. The Constitution introduced elective principle which accommodated the formulation of a political party by Nigerians, together with 4 legislative slots for Nigerians. This led to the formation of the first political party in Nigeria, known as Nigerian National Democratic Party (NNDP), and subsequently the election of 4 members of the party into the legislative arm. The zeal for self-rulership, fueled by increased political consciousness among Nigerian people, led to more pressure on the British government to relinquish more power to the people. The colonialists bowed to the pressure when they introduced Richard Constitution of 1946, which divided the nation into 3 regions: Eastern Region, Western Region, and Northern Region, with vested power to make laws within their jurisdiction. The quest for self-determination kept rising among Nigerians. As a response to this call, McPherson Constitution was introduced in 1951 to further address the concerns of Nigerians. The Constitution introduced a central legislative council that accommodated 68 representatives from the 3 regions of the country. The Constitution also provided for a central executive council with 12 ministers from each of the regions. Still unsatisfied with the indirect rule system adopted by the colonialists, the nationalists continued their agitation in the years that followed, discriminated in the Lytton Constitution of 1954, which provided the office for the premier at the regional level with semi-independence. In spite of self-rulership at the regional levels, Nigerian nationalists remained bent at gaining political independence at the national level. So they intensified their agitations, and this resulted in the 1957-1958 London Constitutional Conference, where it was decided that Nigeria would be granted independence on 1st of October 1960. Meanwhile, a new constitution was done in 1959, which provided for a federal system with an elected prime minister and a ceremonial president. As part of the build-up to the independence in 1960, a general election was conducted to elect the leadership that would steer the affairs of the country after the handing over by the colonialists. 3 parties that fielded candidates for the election were NCNC, championed by Nnamdi Ezekwe, Action Group, championed by Obafemi Awolowo, and NPC by Tafawa Balewa. Being a parliamentarian system of government, at the end of the election, none of the party was able to pull a 2/3 majority to produce a prime minister. Consequently, it took the emergence of NCNC and NPC to solve that puzzle. Following the emergence arrangement in 1960, Tafawa Balewa became the prime minister, while Nnamdi Ezekwe settled for the ceremonial president, while Awolowo and his colleague in Action Group were backseated to play the opposition. So on 1st of October 1960, they were sworn in a colorful ceremony that marked an end to British rule and marked a new dawn for Nigeria. In the first 3 years of their reign, Nigeria was still tied to the apron of the British sovereignty. On the 1st of October 1963, when Nigeria became a republic, this qualified Nnamdi Ezekwe to become a ceremonial president of the country and elevated the power of Tafawa Balewa, who was the prime minister.
I, Nnamdi Ezekwe, swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federation and the law, and that I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
Nigeria's nascent independence and democracy was, however, truncated on the 16th of January 1966 when the military junta led by Agu Ironsi overthrew the civilian government, killing the Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, Premier of the Northern Region Amadu Bello, and Premier of the Eastern Region Michael Okpara, and a host of other prominent politicians. The coup was necessitated by long-standing regional and ethnic conflicts and widespread of political crisis across the country. Major General Agu-Ironsi plan to abolish the regions and impose a unitary government met with anti-Igbo riots in the north. The military intervention worsened the political situation as the army itself split along ethnic lines. The instigators and leaders of the January coup were accused of favoring Igbo domination and attacking the northerners with the killings of Tafawa Balewa and Amandu Bello. Thus, on 29th of July 1966, the northern soldiers in the Nigerian army staged a counter-coup which led to the assassination of Agu-Ironsi. Consequently, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon was brought in. Following the assassination of Ironsi and the mass killings of the Igbos in the north, Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu declared the secession of the defunct Eastern region, which they renamed Independent Nation of Biafra in 1967. The declaration was kicked against by Yakubu Gowon-led federal government. What ensued was 30-month civil war, which ended on 15th of January 1970. After the civil war, Yakubu Gowon continued ruling until 29th of July 1975, when he was deposed by a group of military battalion led by Murtala Mohammed in a bloodless coup. Following his dethronement, Murtala took over the affairs of the country, and his reign was brought to an abrupt end on the 13th of February 1976, when he was gruesomely assassinated by Dimka in a foiled coup. Following his demise, his second-in-command, Olusegun Obasanjo, took over the mantle of leadership and was in power on the 1st of October 1979, when he handed over power to the civilian government of Shehu Shagari.
I, Sheikh Usman Aliyu Shagari, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful, and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Shagari administration witnessed a lot of political turmoil which attracted military intervention masterminded by Muhammadu Buhari on the 31st of December 1983. Buhari was in power from 31st of December 1983 to 27th of August 1985, when his regime was overthrown by Ibrahim Babangida, popularly referred to as political Maradona. Babangida was in power until 26th of August 1993, when he was pressured to resign after his annulment of June 12, 1993 presidential election. Just before he exited power, he set up an interim government led by Shonekan. Shonekan barely ruled the country for 3 months before he was deposed by Sani Abacha on the 17th of November 1993. Abacha was in power until June 8, 1998, when he died. Following his death, Abdulsalam Abubakar took over the mantle of leadership. He reigned till May 29, 1999, when he handed over power to civilian government of Olusegun Obasanjo, who ran 2 terms before he handed over power to his successor, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, on May 29, 2007.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yar'Adua submitted to the cold hand of death on May 10, 2010, after a protracted illness. His vice, Goodluck Jonathan, took over and rounded off his tenure. Jonathan was re-elected in 2011 and remained in office till 2015, when he handed over power to Muhammadu Buhari, having suffered a defeat in his re-election bid in 2015. Buhari reigned from May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023, when he handed over power to the incumbent government. Nigeria is 64 today. The country has witnessed topsy-turvy in all sectors. However, the hope of building a better Nigeria remains alive among over 200 million population in the country.